All right, and that about does it for baseball's sticky foreign foreign object situation. Moving on to another situation, part two. That's right, part two of the college football playoff expansion. Now, as you notice, I posted a video last week. Be Live and Scotty D were going tooth and nail about how is it beneficial, how is it not beneficial, reasons why, reason why not, bye weeks, making money, revenue, blah, 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 yakety smackety. That's from that Tasmania cartoon, if you know what that is. So here we are, part two, and we even had some of our listeners take the advice of Be Live and leave something in the comment box. All right, so here we go, part two of this whole situation. All right, now Uncle Max said he loves it. He said he likes a Sweet 16 even better. He said, hell, shorten the season, regular season to a 10-game conference-only season if we're going to do the playoffs, all right? Then Jeremy Hyatt, he said 12 is too many. He said the max should be anywhere between six, where 1 and 2 get a bye, or even 8 is good, all right? Our very own Matty Ice, he said, I've always said don't use me in your top 25 teams for the rankings and then not let me win at all when I go undefeated. All right. He said, so for me, it's a no-brainer. I just might start giving a poo-poo about it. I will root for every underdog every year and buy hoodies like Bill Cosby wore sweaters on the Cosby Show. And then our friend to the show, JR Speaks, he said, just give me 8 teams. Give me 8 teams. The Money Man, Scotty D, and the Almighty Be Live. I'll let you go first, and then Scotty D, you can dive right in there. Go ahead, Be Live.
All right. So I've done some thinking, and I've done some digging. Scotty D, you're still just as wrong. But I'm going to concede slightly, and I'm going to change my stance from 6 to 8. 12 still is way too many. 8 is as far as I will go, and this is why. I'm going to start off first by what is teams 9 through 12? What exactly are they? Like, really, I'm going to ask this question to you, Scotty D. What is teams 9 through 12 in college football? Answer that.
I don't even know what the question is. What is
what are the 9th ranked through the 12th ranked teams? What are they in college football? What exactly are they?
Are they what?
They are
large? Are they at large?
They are college
bids?
football teams comprised of young student athletes who receive scholarships in exchange for participating in athletics on the gridiron. That's
so.
I mean,
teams exactly. That. Thank you for emphasizing what I was going to say. Teams 9 through 12 are nothing. They didn't win. They didn't win their conference. They're probably the second or third place team in their conference, and just so happened to be because of it just means more or media bias that they're ranked a little bit higher than somebody else. But it really doesn't warrant the 9 through 12 getting into the playoff. What exactly have you done to be the number 9th team in the country? That means you lost a pivotal game at some point in time against one of the top 8 teams in the country, most likely. On top of that, most likely you lost in your conference championship. So you're saying that even though you lost when the conference championship is essentially the quarterfinals of what the playoff is right now, you should get another chance to lose? So now you're turning college football playoff into a double elimination format. You're not introducing new teams into the playoff. You're introducing teams that just lost.
How do you know? What do you mean?
What do you mean? How do I know?
How do you know?
Because this is exactly how it's set up. That's exactly what it's going to be set up as. I can tell you right now. It's a guarantee at this point in time with the 12-team format that the SEC championship runner-up will still make it into the playoffs. And it's now you've turned it into a double elimination. And that's not what it is. So I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say 8.
You're so worried about a team that doesn't deserve it getting in that you're locking out teams that do deserve it by reducing your.
But how do you? as the ninth ranked team, why do you deserve anything?
It's an opportunity.
The only
It's
reason
an opportunity.
The only reason why the 9th through 12th place team should make it in is if they're a group of 5 team that just does not get as much clout as they should. They should be ranked higher going undefeated, and they should get an automatic bid as the top group of 5, like they're already doing when it comes to the New Year's Day games, the Big Six, the 6 bowl games on New Year's Day. The college football playoff bowl system is already doing it. All you're doing now is taking that best group of 5 team and now putting them in the playoffs. They do deserve that. I'm gonna give you that. But the 9th through 12th team is literally going to be somebody that lost in the conference championship, and now you're giving them another chance. For what? For what? Tell me.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
You know that. Come on, Scotty D.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet what's going on.
Go ahead. Please help me explain.
Yeah, why don't we? Right, so let's go back. It used to be you didn't have, and we didn't like that. So that's not the way to go. Would you agree with me on that? The old school voting, where
correct? Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, we agree on that. So then they go with the BCS and they set up. We're going to put number 1 versus 2 to settle it. But I would argue that there were instances where a 3rd or 4th team had a legit argument to be in that game and didn't get in that game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we agree on a couple things here. Right. If you go to March Madness, they have 68 teams they allow into that tournament. 68. And 69, 70, 71, 72, every year they're mad. They think we legitimately should have been in that. So we are never going to get to a point, no matter how small the number between 1 and 2 or how big the number, 68, where somebody's going to say, I deserve to be in there. We deserve to be in there. We're never going to eliminate that, whether it's 2 teams, 4 teams, 8 teams, 12 teams, or 16 teams. We'll never eliminate that. But by adding this going up to the 12, you're giving the top 4 teams a chance to breathe, recuperate, have a chance to play against a team that might have gotten banged up a little bit, had to earn their way a little bit further. You're giving a college campus a home playoff game, all kind of excitement there. It's just you can't lose with this. Now, I never said I think that college football should have a 12-team playoff. I always, for years, I said, give me something. Give me the best of 8. I will take 8. They gave me 4. I said, I will gladly take that. And I've been so much more interested in college football the years because there has been what they call the +1. That has given me so much more interest in the sport that I never was interested in before because the ending was terrible every year. I didn't like it. I never thought it was fair. The BCS, I mean, you got it right every so often. It wasn't guaranteed. Settle it on the field, I said. Remember when Boise had the crazy upset game against Oklahoma?
Yep.
Man, what impact that had on the country. Everybody was buzzing about it, and then that was the end. Wouldn't you have loved to have seen one more week of Boise get on the field, advancing and playing somebody else? That's the kind of thing we're going to get now. That's what we're going to have. Yeah, and by going up to 12, you're giving more opportunities. You're giving Coastal Carolina a chance. You're giving Boise of years ago a chance. You're giving some of these upstart teams a chance to get exposure. And maybe by doing that, next year they won't be 9 through 12. They might be 5 or 6. They might get better recruiting, better teams. They might move up, and then maybe they become the next Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State that's in the top 3 every year. You can actually book it. This is giving us more to watch other than Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma every year.
I'm glad you made my point for me. I see that you've changed your stance and came from 12 to 8. There we go. I knew I won this argument. Thank you so much for that. But also on top of that, let me tell you why. Once again, 9 through 12 is really irrelevant. And on top of that, I'm actually going to quote the great, the Hall of Famer himself, Uncle Max, where he says he wants the regular season trimmed down to 10 games in order to make this playoff happen. You want to know why that is ridiculous on top of ridiculous?
Why is it ridiculous on top of ridiculous?
You might as well just throw away every small school imaginable. You might as well just do that. Forget Citadel. You might as well close their doors. because the amount of money that they make off their football program by these games that they play against Clemson, South Carolina, et cetera, from time to time. If you take away and go all conference, that money goes bye-bye. And you might as well, essentially, the group of five is going to dwindle down even further. What's going to happen, what needs to happen more than anything, is that you put a little bit more emphasis on the regular season. You, like I said, this is the reason why 8 is best. 6, I still like 6 as well, but 8 is best. If you start throwing in an extra game, at the end of the day, now a team might essentially play 17 games to win a championship, and at this point in time, right now, it's at 15, and you just keep pouring in more and more games, and who exactly is getting this revenue? The reason why, let me tell you something else. The proposal for the 12-team playoff, I'm going to let you know who proposed for this 12-team playoff. It was a subcommittee comprised of the Big 12 Commissioner, Bob Bowlesby, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, Notre Dame Athletic Director Jack Swarbrick, and Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. You want to know why those names are so significant when it comes to a 12-team playoff? Hey, let's start off with the Big 12 Commission. They barely get a team in every year. There's been a couple times where the Big 12 has been on the outside looking in. Of course they want to expand. The SEC commissioner. You want to know why the SEC commissioner wants this? Because he wants to put more SEC teams in. The more SEC teams in, the more chunk of the pie they get. Notre Dame athletic director. You want to know why Notre Dame wants to expand? Is because they don't want to join a conference. They want to keep the money all to themselves and then get a cut of the pie from the playoff that they don't deserve to be in because they don't join a conference. Then you got the Mountain West.
Who cares what their motivations are? Who cares? As long as us the fans are getting more, we're getting a better product. We're getting more. We're going to get more fun football to watch.
We're throwing away the conference championship.
You're so arrogant.
I'm arrogant. How am I arrogant? Because
you want to dismiss these other teams like they're not good enough to be playing in my conference. They have their opportunity. They have the opportunity. That's why I said VCU. So did VCU. They went to the Final Four. They had to play a playing game.
Stop this argument right now. How would ridiculous argument about the March Madness being 68 teams. Do you understand how many Division I basketball schools there are? There are almost
was VCU relevant before they went to the Final Four?
There's almost 400 teams. That's why
were they relevant before they went to the Final
Four? Is bigger than football. There's a reason why. Do you know how many Division I FBS football teams there are? There are 119. That is way less than 368. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's in the high 300s when it comes to Division I basketball program.
George Mason made it to the Final Four. They were what, an 8 seed?
You're making my argument for me.
UCLA had to play a playing game this year. Made the Final Four.
I want to be bigger than 4. I'm not being arrogant about this. But you're telling me.
You say 9 to 12 are not relevant. They don't belong on your field. They're not. Like VCU didn't belong on the same floor. Like UCLA didn't belong on the same floor. You are implying it with your arrogance.
68 works for basketball. And there's almost an argument where I think 68 is a little far. 64 is good for basketball. 68, a little play-in. Yes, it was good for UCLA. Congratulations. But here's the one thing about that. It works for basketball because there's way more teams in basketball. Football, you're literally at this point in time is
here's my suggestion to you, Dabo. Don't watch. Wait till after the bye week, then you watch.
Be live.
Are you unbelievable?
You were in the process of mentioning before Scott got you all riled up. What was the Mountain West's reason for
the Mountain West is the group of 5. And the group of 5 wants representation, which they absolutely deserve. They deserve. Yeah. That's why I say 8 is good. 6 is good because they will have that representation of the group of 5 with that scenario. 12 is just too many. Here's the thing. Take baby steps. Take small steps. Go from 4 to 6. Then go from 6 to 8. then go from 8 to 12 if you're still not satisfied. But I guarantee you, if you put 8 teams in a playoff, you'll be satisfied. I guarantee you will. 9 through 12
Okay.
9 through 12 is a crapshoot, and you're literally looking at rematches of games we've already seen. What makes college basketball, the March Madness, so intriguing is that because you're going to get games that you haven't seen before. Football, you're not going to get that.
Oh, for crying out loud.
You're going to get the second place conference champion, second place in the conference. They're going to make it into the playoffs now. And guess who the second place of almost every conference usually is? They're the loser of the conference championship. Why in the world do we want to see Georgia versus Alabama again? Even one time that it actually happened.
The ACC puts 8 teams in March Madness. Are we mad about that? Because
when did they play each other?
Because when did they play each other? Because after number 1, 2 through 8, those 7 teams, they didn't win the conference championship either.
But they don't play each other because there's that many more teams. That's the reason why basketball is completely different. There's that many more divisions and conferences in basketball. That's why.
It's creating opportunity. That's what it is. It's creating more opportunities.
How many automatic
buys?
It's
giving more teams a chance to have something to play for.
How many automatic buys?
More teams.
How many automatic buys are there in basketball?
More on the line.
Answer the question, Scott. How many automatic buys? There's a crap ton. There's like 32 automatic buys.
Okay.
There's 32. There's the reason why there's 68 teams in college basketball. There's a reason why. Because there's 32 divisions and conferences. That's why there's so many teams in March Madness. It works that way. How many conferences are there in football? There's 10. 5 of them that matter and 5 of them that sort of matter.
There's your arrogance. Exactly. Thank you.
I said what I said. The model is already there. It's not going to change until the SEC, ACC, the Big 10, Big 12, and the Pac-12 dissolve, and then you bring in those group of 5 teams and realign the conferences. Then you're going to have a good argument about going to 12 or 16 teams. You have to realign the conferences. Put the group of 5 with the major 5 conferences. Put them in.
I'm just glad I don't go through life looking down my nose at people like you do, B-Live. I'm just glad I don't have that arrogance.
Put Coastal Carolina in the ACC. Hey, give Pittsburgh to freaking the Big 12.
Okay.
Shoot, make them 16 super conference teams. I don't know. That has to change one way or the other. That's the only reason that would sort of remotely have a chance. But you're literally putting in the second place runner-up team to face in the playoffs again.
Scotty D, B-Live, I gotta stop you. Scotty D, we gotta move on. Scotty D, you have any closing arguments before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I just want to apologize to B-Live for doing this to him again the second week in a row.
You brought up no new points. That was the worst part about it.
Even though you're arrogant, I do care about you as my bro. So.
Oh my God. The only new point you brought up is that you called me a name. You called me arrogant. Wow. That's all you did this week. I put in more work.
That's because I already won the argument last week.
No, you did not. You're the one that admitted today.
I had the Sports Bros Nation backing me up. They were agreeing with me.
You had one person. You had the senior citizen department that backed you up.
Uncle Max, I don't know why you listen to this guy. He's arrogant and he's an ageist. He's an ageist as well.
I'm sorry.
Man.
And with that being said, fellas.
Your button hit it?
And with that being said, hey, your button, hit it. I hope y'all enjoy this section of the Choices of the Voices. I'm sorry, not Choices of the Voices, but this here college football debate. Leave something in the comment section. Let us know something. We go into the Choices of the Voices. Hey, your button, hit it. Yeah.